Ready or not, here I come now. Let's play hide and seek. Prepare to be caught. Here I come now. Let's play hide and seek. Riding on the playground, no mountains to make a sound. Round and round and round and round. No one wants to be first found.
Hello, everybody. Hey, I wanted to bring you something that I've been wanting to do a long time, but I just think it's time. Sleuthy Goosey did a really good thing when a woman contacted her about Linda Lane footage, and she had bought it from who she said was KANE, purchased it through KANE, and KANE had told her, hold on, I gotta move a couple things. KANE told her not to give it to law enforcement. This is what she said. KANE told her not to give it to law enforcement or to the family members, and then she ended up buying this ungodly amount of footage. I mean, it was like 24 hours or something or other with 2 cameras. I mean, it was a lot, and the law enforcement had already had it, so they already got their choice out of what she wanted. But there was also clips out there, like when there was motion, the certain clips were taken out of that surveillance footage and clipped, and that was said that was given to the defense. But there's some things in here that just really, I don't know. I'm going to skip forward a little bit on here because there's a lot. And then I will put the link in the description so that you can go watch the whole thing if you want. What she did was when this person contacted her, she wanted her to give this footage over to this woman named Sarah. And because she was scared, she kept saying she was scared. She didn't want Sleuthy to give it to anybody else. Don't post it. Don't do anything. Well, Sleuthy said, "No, I'm not gonna." And anyway, this person was adamant about it. Well, she said that one of the first things she said was when Xana and Ethan were perished, about the time zone right there, right? And also about when who the person was, and she said it was Charlie. Also said there was a Callie in there, which I think was Kelly, and that you can hear them, hollering, the roommates, when this all happened. You can hear them hollering the roommates' names back and forth, and that it happened when they were doing the karaoke. So anyway, I'm going to let you hear some of that, and it just, I don't know, there's something, it just makes me wonder a lot of things. It makes me wonder a lot of things. But I mean, nothing against Sleuthy. I mean, I think she did a great job. I mean, I commend her for, I think she's great. And I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, because there's a lot of things in here that they ring true as to what we know, but then they don't ring true. Like, oh, train coming through. Honk. When you were a kid, did you always do this little thing with your arm to make the horn? Or that was semis. Never mind. Well, I just did it and the train did it, so maybe that is what it is. All right, I'm going to let this go. I'm going to play you some bit of this and see what you have to say.
Really, I've been seeing so much confusion about the Linda Lane footage. I'm like totally over it. And while I don't think right now that it's necessary to like put out this person's name and shit, and I did redact a bunch of stuff, not a bunch of stuff, like 3 things, because like a phone number's in there and shit, and it's just not necessary. But I think there's still confusion because there's some weirdness going on. Some people not wanting to, I don't know. Like, I know there's people saying that they bought the footage that really didn't buy the footage. And like, so it's just, The whole thing's kind of crazy. Essentially, I'm going to show these. I hope that it clears up where it came from in terms of when it was sent to me, which from what I understand was before it was sent to everybody else, and before it appeared on YouTube. Exactly, Melissa. Melissa said, that's what I figured. I knew you were being honest, but I don't think she was being honest with you. And that's exactly what happened. And I just want to like get this done. And I literally want to put my head on the pillow and go to sleep. Pink is me. And the gray is this person that messaged me. And so they asked me if I had ever spoke to Sarah Azari. I said, yeah, why? What's up? They said, I have all the security footage and it completely exonerates Koberger. Both murders are on there. The police have it and I am scared and don't know what to do with it. I bought it from a neighbor. So I said, do you want me to forward it to her? And they said, oh, it's 24-hour footage. I said, that's crazy. They had you buy it. I wouldn't trust just sending it to police. That's for sure. And she said, people will sell anything for the right price. The killer's name is Charlie. Okay. Lord have mercy. We're going to have to make this bigger. I can't hardly see this. Okay, that's better. Hopefully you can see the timestamps. Let me go back to the first one to see when exactly the first. So July the 1st at 11:53 a.m. Eastern time. So on the other side of the U.S., it was 8:53 in the morning. So they said the killer's name is Charlie. I said, did you also send it to Anne? She said, Xana begged him for life at 1:32. And I said, oh my God, and a crying face. She said, I signed an agreement with the owner. I will not give to defense or families.
Now, why the heck would they not want her to give it to defense or families? I can see the families, but I just have a really hard time with that. If indeed KANE did sell that to her, then why did he sell it to her? I mean, KANE's got enough money. He doesn't need her to buy those things or anybody else to buy those things. Why would he do that? Does he have a does he have a iron in the fire with everybody else around there? I guess that's not the right term for it, iron in the fire. Well, you know what I mean. Does he have his hand in a pocket somewhere? I don't know. Sounds weird to me. But then again, this whole case is weird. But KANE selling it to a female after the cops already did what they needed with it. And that's another thing that's weird too, is that they already took out clips and they only gave certain ones to defense. And now KANE doesn't want them giving the other stuff to defense when they only pick and chose stuff that wasn't even relevant. What's going on here, man?
By the way, I'm not reading the chat. The white Elantra has a sunroof. It's not his car. I said, is there video or just audio? Wow. So tell me what we need to do because I didn't sign any agreements with anybody. And she said, will that Sarah chick respond to you? I want her to have it. I don't want my name out there at all. I said, yeah, she always does. And I have her email, but I'm not allowed to just give it out. So she said, can you ask her to call me? And then gave me her phone number. I said, how can you get it to her? Like, how can you send 24 hours of footage? And she said, don't tell anyone I have it. I said, yes, I'll message her now. And they said, I'll put it on Google Drive. Then they sent me a screenshot of the footage. And that was at 4:05. And she said, here's proof I have it. I said, where's that camera? She said, 500 Queen. I can hear the entire thing. Just moments before Ethan and Xana, they were doing karaoke. John Denver's Bring Me Home. Now, I hadn't asked for the footage, and I was going to send it. I was just going to send it. I didn't have to see it. And I'll just say it now so I don't forget. But, like, I did reach out to Sarah. Never did get to send it to her. I mentioned somebody else in here. Oh, there he is. I mentioned Bob in here because that's somebody that I trust. And I was like, if you really need some help, like, I trust him. And you can always get some advice from him. But I never sent it to him either. So she said, there's another car involved. It's a truck with camper shell. Please don't tell anyone I have it. I need a lawyer to do it. And then screenshotted the Google Drive. And said, I scared the cops will mess with me.
I found that when she said, I'm afraid the cops will mess with me, I think that's really interesting, especially since what we know about the Banfield and all that kind of stuff. And what do the cops have to do with this? I mean, I've always thought they were involved in some way, shape, or form. Pretty much points to it. So who are they protecting? Whose kid? Maybe that's one of the cops' kids. You never know.
This is still all on July the 1st. She said, I don't want anyone that can tell police and not hand it over. The police already have it. They told me they gave it to them. By them, I assume that they meant the landlord had already given it to police. So I said, so this would be the same one that they say he stopped and turned around in front of, meaning camera. She said, yes, I can see that. The thud is for sure getting door kicked open. The second door slams. The dog barks 2 times. I said, what's the timeline of everything? She said, once before kicking in the door and after shut into second bedroom. Talking about the two barks. Someone named Callie. Lord. Someone named Callie is there too. The roommates are there. I can hear them yelling each other's names.
See, I don't think it's Callie. I think it might be Kelly. Now, Kelly was around, and boy, was she. She was on a mission. And so, I don't know how she's connected to that family, but she's definitely connected to that family.
So I wish I could help build the timeline of this with timestamps for her. She's going to want it. She'll have to explain what's on the video, meaning I ain't fucking turning over 24 hours of footage and not giving this woman, meaning Sarah, timestamps. She said it needs no explanation. The murder of Xana and Ethan is at 1:32 and it's clear as day. She says, Charlie, leave me to live. By the way, I'll just say, like, the reason that I'm not showing you this on my actual Twitter, which I can pull it up so that you can see if you want me to, that my Twitter has changed. The colors are changed. So you can see that these are actual pics from my Twitter DMs. But there's too much shit in there that isn't necessary to get out. Like I said, like the phone numbers and shit. So I'm not going to read it from my DM. So I said, can absolutely trust Bob Mata as well. She says, then she says, Charlie, I won't. Then she says, Charlie, I can. She's screaming. She has a very distinct voice, kind of deep and raspy. The real Elantra has a sunroof. Koberger's doesn't. I need to give it to that Sarah woman or someone that can get it to the right people.
So is that why they posted this stock photo of a white Elantra with a sunroof or without? Or actually, I don't remember what it had on there, but a stock photo. They had photos. They had this surveillance already. Why didn't they take a picture out of that? Well, at one point they did, but they took it sideways so you couldn't tell that the car had a sunroof to make it look more like Brian, because his didn't have a sunroof. I mean, they're going to extreme here, in my opinion. But why? Besides trying to cover the stuff up. Trying to get butts in those seats at the U and not freaking people out. That's how it feels. It feels like it's all kind of stemmed around that when it comes to this frame job. hurry up, get somebody on, convicted so that everybody's going to be fine and dandy and go, nothing to see here, back to normal. Weird.
She asked if Bob was law enforcement. She said, I don't know who Charlie is. I just got the footage 2 days ago. I haven't started to look.
Whoa. What do you mean she hasn't started to look? She knows about all this stuff already. She's been talking about in here. The times, what's it said, Kaylee calling because she was scared, all this stuff. Who gave who what? Who did what, when, where? And yet she hasn't looked into it yet. She got it 2 days ago and she hasn't looked into it. Well, she's talking to Sleuthy on the July 1st, right? Well, she had to have looked at it because she said she only got it 2 days prior. How does she know all that stuff if she didn't look at it and listen to it? Who is this person?
It's really not necessary for me. So I 100% trust Bob. I know he'd get it to the right place. Is he a lawyer or law enforcement? I'm not giving it to law enforcement. I said he's a lawyer. She said the owner is going to try to sue me. I'm not supposed to give it to anyone.
If she wasn't supposed to give it to anyone, what the heck would she want that footage for in the first place? I mean, that's just sick in itself. And how did she... At first she said it was a neighbor. She bought it from a neighbor. So, is her neighbor KANE? And how did she come to the point where they were talking about selling this footage? Where does that come into play?
I said you could talk to him about that. I'm sure he could advise you. Do you want to send all this to him and have him reach out? She said, if you could help me at some point once I'm ready, that would be helpful to me. I do not want my name out there. So this is multiple times now I'm told, don't tell anybody I have the footage. Don't tell anybody I have it. Nobody needs to know my name, yada, yada. I said, of course. She said, does that Charlie, oh, I offered up a Charlie, just because I happened to quickly look and I found one, not necessary for everybody to look at it or even know the Charlie that it is. But she said, does that Charlie have a large truck with a camper? I see the owner of the truck walking to the truck at 421 from King. His car is parked at 500 Queen. I said, there's no pictures of his vehicle at all on Instagram, but I can check elsewhere. Keep in mind, like at this point, I'm still thinking this is like legit. Like nobody has seen this. This is July the 1st. This person reached out to me, like they obtained this footage and they were terrified about what they heard, hadn't got to review it all. She said, can you not tell a soul yet? I'm super scared, but think there are safety in numbers. There is safety in numbers. I thought I would get clues, but the actual murder turned out a lot scarier than I thought.
That part right there kind of weirds me out. That part just doesn't, where she says, I was gonna, what did she say? Anyway, but she says the murder turned out scarier than I thought. It sounds like she was there. That is, I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. It's weird. You know what this reminds me of? The next day, remember when all the team was out there, investigative team, and the trailer was pulled up and there was a bunch of guys out talking, and that couple walks by, that chick in that, beachwear type pullover sweater, and then the guy who didn't even look up. He just kept looking down, did not look up. She looked at the house like really sad, like, oh no. Like she knew, like that girl knew what was going on in that house or what had happened. I wonder who those two people are.
I said, I'm willing to assess everything and make sure it goes where it needs to in order to get justice for, you don't need to know that. In order to get justice for the kids, prevent it from happening again. Can't imagine what you've been going through after watching it. Unexpectedly having heard that. She said, okay, give me a moment to think this over. I'm as super freaked the last 2 days. Would you want to watch it? It's mostly audio. I said, doesn't matter audio or not, that's chilling, meaning it doesn't matter that it's not on video.
Once again, she says that it's mostly all audio. The video you really don't see much. Well, how would she know? She said she didn't watch much past the 131 mark when Ethan and Xana were in danger.
I said, I can't understand how you can hear everything plain as day, but the roommates and everyone else in the neighborhood didn't hear shit. And she said, well, I promise you, I can hear it. It was only 1:30. I said, so what's the end time of everything? And she said, well, I think this footage is exactly 2 minutes fast, or the bell tower is 2 minutes slow. I can hear the bell tower chime several times, exactly 2 before the top of the hour.
Okay, when it comes to that bell tower, that has always bothered me. And I don't know if I'm just blocking it out at certain times, but I should be able to hear it at the top of the hour and half of the hour, right? At each time, on every hour on the hour, and half, and in between the hours, a half hour, right? But I don't recall hearing it. I also don't recall hearing it on Banfield, on their body cam. So I'm wondering, that seems really weird. I mean, it seems really off, right? And that it would be slow. I mean, I can see like the video, the surveillance stuff being slow, but when it comes to like the bell towers and stuff like that, wouldn't you think they'd have maintenance on that continuously? And is the footage slow because they cut a chunk out of it, a 2 minute section out of it, and didn't like, squish it together and make it back to normal or whatever? I don't know if that's even possible. I'm just putting it out there because these are just questions that I have, that I don't know anything about that splicing stuff. I mean, it's screwy the way I try to do it here, and sometimes I can't even get it the soundtrack back where I want it to go because I'm just so stupid about it.
The Elantra makes the turnaround at 500 Queen at 4:06 on my footage. It honks in front of the home lightly. The DoorDasher, I think that's who, honks lightly 3 times and then 2 more times. They are not coming down for the food. Send me your email. This is super beyond YouTube. This is super beyond YouTube material right now. First, we need to do right by families. I said, oh no, I agree. Whatever, we're going to call that octillion%. I would never, ever put something like that on YouTube. She said, I'm going to invite you to the Dropbox. I think I'm ready to share it. I sent my email. She said, or Google Drive. Google Drive is best. I have it hooked up on all of my devices. You can just share the link for Google Drive. Then I didn't add this part, but I gave her I was like, don't make the link like accessible to anybody with the link. Only send it to people's emails directly. That way you know exactly who has it, because as soon as you make that a public link, any and everybody can click on it. She understood. She asked if I was willing to discuss with her on the phone after I looked at them. I said, sure. She said, this guy is going to sue me probably, meaning the landlord. Can you promise me not to put this stuff out there before I get some counsel? You're going to need good headphones. I'm going to share it with you. All I ask is that you don't put it on the internet. You get where I'm going with this? Why I would have been so fucking irritated when I saw it on the internet? You're about to see how irritated I was. I said, I assure you, I would never. She said, I don't want sued, and I don't even know what that says. Enough, someone will try, plus the danger of police and killer. I said, I would never. Not everything is for the public, and certainly not when someone else could be hurt. She said, okay, I'm about to send. Go to 4 a.m. first to confirm the PCA. Linda Lane, 4 a.m., not the one called Dumpster. As you all know now, there's 2 camera views. I said, aside from you being sued, which would easily be one, but I'd talk to Sarah about that, meaning you. If I were you, talk to Sarah. You can't be expected to withhold evidence of a crime being committed, and this cannot get out publicly or anyone knows of its existence. Otherwise, killers know it exists.
I don't know about you guys, but it kind of sounds to me like the killers already know it exists. And that's exactly why this is happening. So who was in that area that we know of for sure? For absolutely sure that we know of that was in that area. We all know what I'm talking about. We do. The boys in blue. I'm here to help you.
She wanted my real name. I did end up giving it to her. I said, so is this from KANE F? And she said, it is.
You know, you guys, if this is true, if KANE did really have her buy that, literally buy that, right there is an issue. Giving it, maybe not so much as buying it. But is this, I mean, what? Who's he working with? What's going on here? Why would he even do that? And then request her not to give it to the defense or the family? That's just weird. That's sick, actually.
I said, okay, I didn't realize he had a cam pointing toward the house. I only knew about the one pointed at Taylor Ave. And she said, he has a parking lot cam 200 feet from home, directly pointing at 500 Queen. Would you be willing to just call me? And she says, 41450 something, it's too small, I can't read, is the thud. I said, there's both a grayish Elantra with a sunroof and a black Ford F-150 on Blake Ave. She said, did you see the dude get in the truck? I said, and the truck has a camper shell. She said, yes. I said, yes, definitely. She said, did you hear the door slams? The house is super quiet. It's super loud at 1:30. I said, yep, but I actually saw him get in. She said, yeah, he comes walking in from far left of screen. I wonder if that driveway spits you out at the side of King Road. Y'all, if you
I thought she said she bought it from her neighbor, and if that's the case, then wouldn't her neighbor know, or wouldn't she know how that road goes around there? What?
had to read this, I didn't realize the writing was so fucking small. She said, we can watch all the footage and see what time truck parks there. I think this is the real Elantra. And what do you know? There's that screenshot of that horrid angle, okay, which was then put out, which was why I put out the clip of the video showing the entirety of the car, because look at that screenshot. And now knowing this whole conversation up until this point, it's clear that the screenshot was taken in an effort to suggest that that is, the car. And it has a sunroof and his doesn't. Yeah, the dreaded sunroof screenshot. See what I mean? So she said, but like I said, the murder of Xana and Ethan is recorded, and we need that Sarah lady to take it. It's for sure the roommates and someone named Charlie and maybe a few others. A girl named Callie, maybe. I guess Callie could be a boy. Someone yells Callie when they get there. Sounds like Dylan. And then I just sent a little map. And I said, okay, I don't know if you sent the other one, but I'm listening to the first one. Someone whistles, and then I gave the timestamp. She said, did you hear the 5 light honks at very start? I think it's the dasher. Won't come down for food. I'm listening for whistle now. I heard the whistle. Keep in mind, like, I haven't watched anything that's been put on the internet. So this is like real time me watching this before. Yeah. That's what I'm getting. Yeah. Or begged me repeatedly not to put it out and hope I was going to put it out. And like I said, you got me fucked up. I heard the whistle. Kane told me the home is 220 feet from the house. I said, yeah, that's about right. She said, okay, I'm super scared to trust you on the other one, but I really want to send it to you. Sure, James. Looks like my old counselor in rehab. Where are we at? Yeah, it's about right. I'm super scared. The silence at 4 says everything you need to know about the 4 murders. I said, I mean, I get being worried, and it's ultimately up to you, obviously. I just finished the first one. And she said, do you have a moment to call me? I said, I will shortly. She said, I'm going to send the 1 to 2 a.m. Don't put this anywhere at all. It could be me and you and our kids in danger. Sorry, typo. It could put us in danger. The murder of Xana starts at 1:31, I believe. I said, the last thing we'd want is any kind of accusation that the footage has been manipulated, and it will be manipulated if other people get a hold of it. She said, yeah, agreed. There is more than enough to exonerate Kohberger. I said, how many different videos is this? 1 hour each video, like he downloaded in 1 hour increments? She said, I have the whole night, 2 cams, 1 hour increments, and then snips from a sensor cam. So some duplicate, so small.
So the duplicates she's talking about are the ones that earlier were said to be the parts they were cut out due to the motion in them. And I don't know if there was a motion detector, if that set off something different on the surveillance camera. I don't know. It kind of sounds like that's what that means. But those clips are also were the last ones to be uploaded by that Brian Kohberger Moscow, which I don't know who that is. It says, like, how I think it was the Powerpuff Girls, Powerpuff or something like that, that came out with like some of the first, videos of the Linda Lane. But who is it? Is it really a few females, or is it somebody different that's had this surveillance the whole time? The one who actually got it from whoever they got it from. And do they have all the other bits and pieces that they have not uploaded thus far? And why? Why haven't they? I mean, they obviously want some attention because they keep doing this little bits at a time. The only one I can think of, tell you, I'm not going to say it out loud, but I'm sure you guys all know what I'm talking about.
When there's movement, duplicate when there's movement. That's what they gave the defense. And I said, but where's the ones you can visualize the Elantra and what's its location?
Okay, so you tell me how this person knows that this was clips taken out and given to the defense. Did her and Kane just sit down and discuss this over lunch? How did this all come out? I mean, how well does she know him and him her? And who is this her? And was it really him that she got it from? I don't know, but this is all very strange. Do you ever hear this in any case? Oh, let's just, dole all this stuff out that, should be under wraps and nobody should be seeing this stuff. What is going on here? I mean, seriously, this is nuts. Who is this chick? Well, I don't know, but I heard that a certain person by the initials CM was one of the first ones to get this. And it was turned over to a few other initials. Those are 3 initials. And that was where the footage was turned over to begin with, is what I heard.
She said, you didn't see the Elantra pulling in and turning around at 4:05? I said, I saw that, but it's far away. Like I saw it from the side. And then again, the dreaded screenshot. That one was at least like a side shot. There's this from Linda Lane. But the key is really in the 1 to 2 footage. I said, yeah, I haven't watched that yet. She said, well, you can hear Xana at 1:31 begging for her life. I said, that car has black rims. She said, yeah, it's hard to say that's for sure the Elantra, but it's playing music several times. We can tie the music to it. First, go listen to 1 to 2. Then we can trace these details. What time does the truck park? I said, could that be Kaylee and Maddie getting home? She said, probably. They're scared calling Jack for protection. I didn't listen that much after 1:35 yet.
Once again, how does this person know so much about what's going on when they did listen to it, they didn't listen to it? They only listened to part of it because they were scared, and they did listen to part of it because they were scared. I mean, what's going on? How do this person know that Kaylee was calling Jack for help because she was scared? Who is this person? And why she's not just someone who bought this surveillance, if she bought it at all. I mean, she's inserting herself huge in this, even though she wants to be left unnamed. This is not, I don't get this out of this particular thing. This is very suspicious. By the way, this person right here is a friend of one of the people that took a lot of pictures in that house that night of November 12th and 13th. And on Halloween, by the way. This is a really good friend of theirs. Looks like Dylan, huh? When I first saw this, I actually thought it was Dylan because it was a different picture I saw, but it looks a lot like Dylan. It's not, though. So I just found it interesting. Also, the name Pamela that actually commented on this or liked it, wasn't that the name of one of the owners of that white Elantra? Just saying. Seems a little interesting to me. They never posted that person's last name, which is why I'm not posting this last name. I do have it. But also the caption's very strange.
Did you hear Charlie, let me live? Charlie, I can at 1:32. I sent you 2 to 3, and we can easily hear her let the dog out. If I sit here and I tell you that they're yelling Charlie something before you even hear the footage, as soon as you hear the footage, you're going to be hearing Charlie, whether that's what's said or not. So, I hear Kaylee get home and shut car door at 1:58:45.
Once again, this person contradicts herself or himself, whoever this person is, because they said they didn't listen much after the unalivings of Xana and Ethan because it bothered them so much. They weren't expecting it to make them feel like that it was that gruesome. So what is going on? Again, why do they keep changing their story? Over and over and over and over and over again. If you listen to this recording, I'm going to put the link in the description and you just find all the discrepancies in it. There's a ton of them. Absolutely a ton of them. I'm not saying Sleuthy, it's the other person.
I made an amplified version. It's audio only. It's 10 times louder. Do you want a link? Then they said, hi, you're probably busy listening, but please promise me you won't tell anyone who you got it from.
Okay, here we go again. Yet another one. I thought you didn't pay much more attention after the certain time, after the unalivings of Xana and Ethan. Yet you made another version of it, made it louder, 10 times louder. What? Make up your freaking mind. What did you do and what didn't you do? And who the hell are you? Seriously. Who are you? This is so disturbing. Shark.
And then the response at, yeah, it's priming. Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't like on like videos of stuff where you're trying to listen to sound when they put like the captions on it. It's like you have to know that your brain is going to read that word and they're going to hear it. So then July 2nd at 12:54 a.m. my time, so West Coast time, would have been 9:54 p.m. on the 1st. They said, you don't have to worry now. It says that Kaylee's family have the, well, she said that they have the footage. Okay. So I did. I didn't say another word until, what was Thursday? Let me look. So that was the 2nd. So I didn't say anything the 2nd. Then the 3rd, it appeared on the fucking internet. So I didn't say nothing. I was pretty suspicious about the fact that that was the last message that I got. And then it appeared on the internet. I didn't say nothing the 4th or the 5th. Then on the 6th, I messaged her. And I said, who released the footage? Because at this point, as far as I know, me, you, and Kaylee's family are the only ones who saw it. And I know I didn't show anyone. I hope it was you. If it was Steve, I find that interesting, bizarre, and confusing. If it wasn't you, then I'm pissed because you were adamant not to release it. And if someone did, and if someone did anyway against your wishes, I'll be furious. She said, I think it was Steve that shared my name with JLR. The footage got shared with someone outside the U.S. Mark Garagos has it now. We need to let it be. I had originally asked him to take it, and they called me yesterday.
So this person had been able to get in touch with Steve prior, had originally asked them to take it, but then Steve, Mr. G, called her on the 5th, and then she turned it over on the 6th to Mr. G. So what happened of any significance on these days from let's say like the end of June to the beginning of July? What was going on? I mean, got to look through the Moscow police reports, if they don't scrub them. And what else was going on in the courts? Anything of any significance?
Just please, whoops, there you go. That's my name for anybody that didn't know yet. Just please, Nicole, don't give my name to anyone. The crazies will go after my child, and I am scared. I said, I'm pissed. She said, why? I said, and I won't give your name out, obviously. And then I said, because you didn't want it out. And she said, I was super upset about my name and JLR, but no one has contacted me yet, not even the KANE guy. Yeah. I was Nicole before I was Sleuthy. She said, I shared the footage with person outside the U.S. and they leaked it. I said, and then something that could be helpful is now being altered and could cause it to be inadmissible. So then I went back to download copies of the original so I could analyze the footage and actually know is real. I actually know is real. And it had disappeared. And I don't trust anything on YouTube. I didn't even get to watch all of it from both cameras. The overseas person knows your name. And she said, no, they don't. Steve had to, I guess I meant to say Steve had to have given it to JLR. So now we're saying that Steve gave the footage to JLR, right? Knowing that's not what happened. Knowing that Steve did not give that footage to anybody. I'm just saying.
First of all, why would this person give this to someone out of state, out of U.S.? That makes no sense to me. I mean, how did she come up on this person? Why did she choose this particular person? That is a good question because I really don't think that is something very you can explain very well as to why someone would do that. They're not even in this country and they're giving this footage. Did they give this footage or did they sell this footage? Or did this even happen at all? And as for Steve, if he did get this footage, if this was given to him, then did he release it? How did it get back? How did it get on the internet? How did whoever put this on the internet from the very beginning, how did it get there? And when they're talking about that it's going to be altered and all this other stuff, and that's going to be basically thrown out, it's not going to be worth anything. Was that on purpose? What's going on? And how did this person must be pretty computer savvy, because getting this to somebody overseas without a name being, brought up or attached to it, them not knowing who this person is, or maybe they do. Maybe I need to listen to that part. I don't know if they've even said that, but just very computer savvy. Very computer savvy. I don't know. I don't know. It just makes me really curious. What were the motives behind putting this on the internet? Because they made the car look like it was BK's, right? No sunroof. It didn't show the sunroof. Yet this person says there was a sunroof because it wasn't scrubbed at the time that she got it. So you've got this person saying that BK didn't do it. Then you've got Steve flip-flopping. He doesn't know what he thinks. I mean, from one day to the next at this point. Now it sounds like he's got he's locked down in his decision. But prior to this, he wasn't. He was back and forth, back and forth. Weird, huh?
I said, oh, good. Who does besides me? Just Steve? And she said, the overseas person. I said, do you know theirs? I think she said yes and good. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you jump, but I mean, come the fuck on.
Okay, so there's our answer. Yeah, this person did know that overseas person's name, yet the overseas person didn't know her name. What the F? I don't know about you guys, but I don't really like wool over my eyes. Never have, never will. Just don't like the feeling of it. Don't like being blind. Don't like being gaslit. Nothing like that. And that's what's going on here, in my opinion.
No. T, listen. My literal only intention, like, I didn't even tell my best friends. Like, I didn't tell anybody that she had reached out to me and that I had seen this footage. I said nothing to no one. I did not download copies onto my computer. I did not expect it ever getting out. I didn't think this was ever going to be a discussion, because the way it was presented to me was that she just needed help getting it from her possession to someone that could actually do something else with it. And the comment about downloading from her, which one? Was it back? Wait a minute. Now I got to look through this. Dude, this font is so small. Oh, I said that so at this point, it had hit the internet. And when I realized that it had been leaked and this person was telling me they were terrified, I went to go in to the Google links that I had been sent so that I could download the original footage and send it to Sarah, the original footage, not from YouTube, so that someone else knew that this person who said they were so terrified for them and the lives of their children, that somebody outside of that person had the videos, the original videos. And I had no access to the videos. So I told her, I said, I went to go do that and I had no access. And she basically said, once I realized that, that that it had leaked, I revoked access to the link. Yes, T. Which is fine. I mean, and like obviously, like, so I have these, which was my, reactions to as I had listened to it. But then I also took notes. I have one set of notes from, I think, 3 to 4 or 4 to 5 on my lap, on my whatever. Dude, I'm so tired. On my iPad. And then on my computer, I have 1 to 2. And those are like my initial notes. See, this is my point. So like, so like this was my, like, once I realized that shit was being spread everywhere, I realized that this whole, and everything you're going to see, and I'll show you like the last thing that was said to me, which actually, I think we're about to be there. Hold on. So I did that like angry thing. I said, what? And she said, it had to have been Steve or Kane, but I don't think it was Kane. Basically, the whole gist of this, I think there's only one page. I've hardly slept. I am scared as shit. I am so scared. I said, I am so sorry. I can't believe this even happened, or that people don't understand that not everything is for the public. And she said, fucking disaster. And that was it. And then I didn't say anything again until I realized that just about the whole world had been sent the footage. And then I spoke to someone, like a part of the YouTube channel that, as I understand it, had put it out, like initially. Just one of the people. And that person, and that's only one person of many, so it's hard to tell, what everybody else is thinking. But that person was like, that is not the conversation that we had. So I didn't ask for screenshots. I don't care. I want like out of this because I'm like disgusted, like in the sense that, and someone was asking me today, like, well, why do you, obviously, like, this person was fucking with you. So, like, what loyalty do you have to this person? Like, what is this motherfucker's name and what is their phone number? And I was like, yeah, that is what happened, probably. But the truth is, like, if I fell for anything with this, it was simply that I thought someone was actually in danger. And then was angry for that person and their children being in danger. You know what I mean? If the intention was to get me to post it, that's just silly. Because I say what I mean, and like I mean what I say. So if you tell me that you need some help and you don't want anyone to know, that means like my best friends I talk to on a daily fucking basis aren't going to know either. And they didn't. Until it appeared. So that's that. I hope that cleared a couple things up. Lacey, I better not get called as a witness. I would definitely give her name up for that for sure. There is no new chilling audio, Sean. Even if I did have the Google links at this, but like I would not be sharing the original footage. And like I've said before, yeah. Well, yeah. Granted, this was only, so Melissa said, what bothers me is that she didn't just reach out about the footage. She already had a complete timeline, names and narrative ready to go. So imagine what these other creators were told. don't like that specifically for the Lord have mercy. No, it's too late. I would, but we done got through the whole thing. The writing is hella small. Like, I thought for sure I was going to be able to see. It's hard to see. And I'm tired. So, I mean, if I'm being honest, I think there was a lot of people, more than just me, that were they tried to see at this point. So like, whether it's fake or real, like, I do think that I think that the footage itself, like the visual of the footage, I think is real. But I also think that the problem, like my problem with it is, I have my notes, but how much of my notes is based off of all of those things that you guys saw that she said prior to sending me the footage? You know what I mean? And I feel like, oh, 100%. Listen. Oh, nope, I meant to get Melissa. She said we cannot rely on it not being altered now through all the people it has passed through. And that's 100%. Like, that was literally what I was trying to say on my Twitter like a week ago. Like, I hope everybody understands at this point that the likelihood of whatever channel you're watching it on, and I don't even know because I haven't watched any of them, but I can assure you that they've been fucked with in some way. Whether it's just like the pixels, like, trying to change like the contrast and zoom in and, amplify the noise and stuff like that. Like, all of those things, when you're trying to review footage like this, and you're even with your intentions being good, if you don't really understand like how those little things can affect the actual footage itself or picture itself, then I think I see the narrative here. I think there's a couple things here. I think this was like you weirdos, not you weirdos, but there's a bunch of weirdos around here who think that, demand that, really, that like I think Brian Kohberger's guilty simply because I'm like not ready to put him in a chair and shoot him dead without having a trial. But that doesn't mean that I'm not super excited to hear what this, like, I would hope after all this shit that's happened that they have some good evidence. I really hope they do. But I think that the narrative was from this original person. This has to get out. The killer's not Brian Kohberger because the killer has a sunroof. And there it is. And I personally, that bald feller, ever since that bald-headed man, ever since I saw him put out, like, I had no idea that people did shit like that, like make fake audios of like people's children being murdered, put it on the internet. And truth be told, like, even if it was real footage, and that is what was in the footage, I just don't understand the point of putting that out there for a family. Like, would you really want a family to hear their child be like, as a mother, like, I don't understand. I do not understand. I would never want a mother to come across a video of their child being murdered, even if it's just a sound. Like, what the actual fuck? So people do it. Like I said, I like officially wash my hands of this. I quite literally don't want to discuss it any further. But I think it's clear. I think it's kind of clear what's like going on here. And when I told like everybody about it, they like my actual friends, like I'm like, this is what's going on. They're like, obviously they tried to get you to do something. They probably were trying to get you to leak it. And I was like, you know what? Like, that can't be true. Like, look at what this person is saying. Like, they're really scared. Like, why would this person sit here and say stuff like they're scared? They're scared for their children, for my children. Like, why would you do that?
Well, it seems to me there's a lot of good actors and actresses in this, embedded in this case, because they're getting people to believe all sorts of things. And whether it's true or not true, there's so many things that are connected that just feels so real, right? And for someone to do this with this Linda Lane, now I believe that it's true. I think that this is real. I just don't know how much it was changed, or why it was changed, or why certain names were embedded. If they were embedded, maybe that's the way they were altogether. I mean, seriously, this is so interesting to think who this person might have been and what were their true intentions. Do you guys have any idea? I kind of have a couple, only because, I've channel surfed a lot and listened to a lot of things, and there's a lot of things in my head that I have never talked about, and this is disturbing, very disturbing to me, and I feel just like this person was very deviant. I hope that's not the case. I really do. But with any way you look at it, that's what it looks like right here, right? No matter which way you look at it, it looks deviant, in my opinion. What do you guys think? I must commend and give kudos to Sleuthy Goosey for sticking to her guns and being a stand-up person. And that's really super important. Thank you so much for that.
Crime Solver, I don't know this person, but did speak to this person and heard their voice, and it's a legitimate phone number to an actual person. And so that was my other thing. Like, I was like, look, like this is like a productive like member of society. Like, this is like a lady that's older than me. Like, she has a good job. Like, like, why would she be like messing with me? It just didn't make any sense to me. And regardless, I was not willing to like ignore this person that seemed genuinely terrified. Like, what would I have had to lose in doing what she asked and forwarding it to someone that could help her? Even if the help that they gave was to tell her she was fucking nuts and that you couldn't hear none of that stuff and to please calm down. You know what I mean? Even if that was all that help would do. Yeah, Crime Solver, I confronted her about sending it to fucking everybody. Because people that are really scared don't do that. And I